Welcome to episode 91 of the All the Books Show, the official podcast of the David A. Howe Public Library. I'm Eric Mickles.
And I'm Nick Gunning.
We talk about book news, author news, and literary news.
Yeah.
And last week, we talked a whole lot about the 90s.
Yeah,
Let's go back.
We did. Let's get... No, I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't think. The styles and everything.
Yeah. Can I share?
I don't have those overalls anymore, so.
Yeah. Can I share a sad story? You were there when it happened.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because we were talking about the 90s
Yes.
and 90s music. And so...
Eric's the oldest man in the world.
So talking about that, having listened to a previous podcast where they talked about... the Gin Blossoms. Sorry, I
like
stepped
a
up
rebooted
first.
for a minute there.
So we were at FYE.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if they had the Gin Blossoms like album. It's New Miserable Experience is the only one because I've been listening to it on Spotify. I'm like, this is pretty good. So I asked the guy, and he just looked at me. Yeah, young guy. Not too young though.
No.
Long hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just like, I mean, they're playing Grateful Dead in the store.
Right.
So I'm just like, hey, do you guys have the Gin Blossom CD, New Miserable Experience? And he just kind of looks at me for a second. He's like, did you say the Jim Blossoms? It's like, no. And then I was trying to think of like what the Gin Blossoms would look like, and I imagine
poor gross Eric.
it might be like a teenage wallflower
Yeah.
who has to go to gym,
Yeah.
but he's hanging out and he's like, you know, his shorts are too
Yeah,
baggy,
yeah, I
and
like
he's just
that.
over there. Those are the Gin Blossoms.
That's like a Judd Apatow movie, just
Yeah.
waiting, or a TV show.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So in conclusion, Eric's very old.
It was rough. I'm like, it's from 1992.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
So what's new? What have you been up to? What have you been reading?
Uh,
Bookmark segment.
oh, nice segue.
Thank you.
I watched the original Indiana Jones trilogy
Oh,
over the weekend.
yes.
One movie every day by
That's-
myself
That's great.
in the living room, lights off,
Huh.
dogs at my feet.
Big old tub of Cheetos getting lower and lower each
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
It's good.
Yep.
So
Okay. What's the final tally? Let me hear it.
I don't know how to say how I feel about Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Because I think it's fine. I just
Okay.
like, but everybody puts it on the greatest movie ever list. You know,
Yeah,
it's always in
yeah.
like people's top list. And like for me, it's good. It's fun. I don't know how it's gained that like greatest movie ever. I think it was just like maybe the first of
don't-
that kind of being.
I guess
that
I
big
don't. I
blockbuster.
don't think I've ever seen it on like a greatest movie ever list, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely up there in fandom. Just as
Yeah.
far as I mean, I think it was a very original idea.
Yeah.
Original in that it was a throwback to
Yeah.
like old serials.
No, I
you
tried to like watch it with that like fresh mind.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this is just fine. This is as good as any of them.
You make me want to throw up. Just-
Sorry, but here's the thing:
Underwhelming.
Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
I actually really liked.
Yeah.
It's pretty gross, and I can see why
It
people don't
definitely
like
is.
it.
Yeah.
But it's just also a lot of fun, and I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But my favorite's Last
The
Crusade.
scope is so small in Temple of Doom, which is
Yeah.
kind of, it's interesting. It's just a small little thing. It's
Yeah.
not like the Ark of the Covenant. It's these
Yeah.
little stones from a very small, society.
Yeah, you know what? While watching Last
I love
Crusade,
Short Round. I
Yeah.
don't have anything bad to say about Short Round.
Okay. Well, watching Last Crusade
Yeah.
and realizing that was my favorite of the Indiana
Yeah.
Jones movies, I was like, it's too bad like they waited all those years to do waited 2 decades to do the sequels, because
Yeah.
that was definitely a series like I think going from Temple of Doom, the second one, to Last Crusade, the third one, you kind of realize like how you can change the scope and the
Yeah.
setting and everything, and it
Yeah.
always like kind of works.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it's a different time.
Yeah.
At that time, it was kind of outside of like big franchises. I
Yeah.
don't think it was common that you'd have more than a trilogy. you
Yeah.
know?
But it's just too bad
So-
they didn't do like 6. You know, just
Oh,
do a
wow.
bunch of like different. I felt like you could have gone
Like gone in sort of a James Bond route, maybe.
yeah,
Just like kept going and going
yeah,
and
from
going.
change. But
Yeah, I guess it's possible.
maybe because it didn't is the reason why we like those movies.
I don't really want to see Indiana Jones rebooted. I don't want to see like a new Indiana Jones. I know it's going to happen, but I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I feel like you don't have to. I mean, they did *Romancing the Stone*.
Yeah.
that was kind of
Yeah,
Indiana
but I mean,
Jonesy.
Disney owns that now, right? Don't they?
*Romancing the Stone*.
No.
Indiana
Jones.
Jones. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I believe
because
so.
it's folded in with Lucasfilm. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way Disney's just going to be like, yeah, sure, we'll just
Yeah.
leave money on the table and
I'm
no
sure
more
it'll
Indiana
happen.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, they should just do what Indiana Jones did in the first place and be like, let's make a movie like
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I read this really convincing article about how Hollywood should rip off, not remake. Because like
Yeah.
you get Fast and the Furious,
Yeah.
you get like 7 now of like the highest grossing films ever, but you get that because you made one smaller film that was ripping off Point Break. So like you just gotta do that.
Have you read any of the Indiana Jones books?
No,
I used to like them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should I watch?
Rob McGregor wrote several. Max McCoy. They're pretty good.
Should I watch the young The Adventures
Yeah,
of
go
Young
watch
Indiana
Young
Jones?
Indiana Jones. Yeah, that is a dull show. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Though Harrison Ford was in it once as Indiana Jones, so it's like a lost Indiana Jones performance. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So you watched Indiana Jones,
Sure did.
but you're not going to watch Crystal Skull.
Correct.
You gotta watch it.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Mm-mm.
Whatever. Did you read any books?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. That's all right.
I was
Well,
gonna.
I understand. I've been
Then I
stuck
have.
in Honor Among Thieves, Star Wars books by James S.A. Corey,
Yeah.
which the Expanse series,
Yeah.
you know, started okay, and then it just, I don't know, it just kept going. It was one of those. You ever read a book that is not long, but it feels like you're reading War and Peace because you
Yeah.
just like. I feel like I never made progress in that book.
Yeah.
So I really like the opening quarter, and then I just like it was a slog to get through.
You gotta
so,
read Kenobi,
sorry.
man.
I'll read it. Sure. Why
You're
not?
never gonna read it.
Yeah, I will.
No, you're not.
Put it in front of me and I'll read it. I
You can
finished
finish
Star
that in a
Trek Volume
day.
11, which was good.
Good.
The IDW Star Trek series, which I love.
Yeah.
Some other people love. Not many.
Yeah.
But some.
Yeah.
Ends at Volume 13, so we're only 2 away.
Wow.
Sad news. But it rebooted as Star Trek Boldly Go, so we got a whole new series.
Wow.
Yeah, anyway, I also read Brian's Hunt, the last of the Brian Saga books
You're
by
the
Gary
only
Paulson.
person I know who's ever read more than one Hatchet book.
I read all 5.
That's ridiculous.
The 5th one, totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary. It was like
Okay.
a decade after the last one. The
Should
one
I read it?
Brian's Return, I think. I mean, it would take you a half hour, so sure.
Oh, okay.
The last one was all right, and it kind of like brought closure. And then this, I don't know why he felt the need to like come back again. And also, he made Brian kind of a jerk. It's
Yeah.
like Brian is just this omniscient like tree elf going
Yeah.
through the forest, being like, "You're stupid. You're stupid. Jack London's a sissy. You're stupid." So
It's hilarious.
yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
See, what I would have liked to see
Yeah.
is Brian from Hatchet
Sure.
to only one be referred to as Hatchet, kind of
Yeah.
like how John McClane is sometimes just called Die Hard.
Yeah.
So Hatchet, he's lost
Yeah.
in a different type of wilderness, like
yeah.
lost in the desert, and has to survive.
Like when they spun off Gilligan's Island in animated form and made it Gilligan's Planet, where they all crash land on a planet.
That's not real.
That it's absolutely
That's
real.
a lie.
It's real.
Oh my gosh.
It's real as you and I.
Wow.
Yep.
So they went into space for a
Yeah,
three
they went into
light year
space
tour.
and they got stuck. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Sorry.
That's horrible.
It's real.
So yeah, maybe
So-
maybe Brian like Hatchet lost in New York.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that?
Okay. Sure.
Huh?
Yeah.
You follow me now?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say, in regards to Brian's Hunt, if you've read the first 4 books, you might as well just dedicate the half hour
Right.
to finish it. But it's definitely the most unnecessary sequel I think that I've ever read. So-
Tagline.
Yeah.
For Hatchet lost in New York.
yes. Okay.
Things are about to get wild.
I love it. I love it.
Man, we missed our chance to be movie producers in the 90s.
You're right.
Because that was, you could just do anything.
Yeah.
You could just,
The writer of the tagline was king in the 1990s.
that's very true. Those posters,
Yeah.
and they get reused on the VHS.
Yeah.
Because they had to be. Because VHS was just blocky little posters anyway.
Yep, you got to do it. I'm currently reading a graphic novel called Superman Doomed, which is huge.
Yeah.
It's a giant thing.
Okay.
Collects a big New 52 arc, and I am loving it. I don't know if you'd like it, but I'm loving it. So
Maybe I'd like it.
there haven't been a lot of good like recent Superman stories, and it's all
Truth.
together self-contained. So if
Right.
you're a Superman fan, you want a big, long, like,
Wait.
grand scale.
Is that lots of Doomsdays?
No.
Nothing
No,
to
it's
do with
Superman.
Doomsday.
Superman fights Doomsday and then
Ah.
sort of like starts turning into Doomsday.
Oh no!
Yeah. So
Doomsday, the giant monster previously seen in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
No, don't talk about that. I'm also reading for the book club All Our Yesterdays by Robert V. Parker. This is a rare standalone, and I'm really into it so far. It doesn't have that great of reviews, but I'm liking it. So we'll see what the book club says.
That's the most covered Beatles song.
All Our Yesterdays? It's just yesterday.
Oh,
Just
really?
yesterday, yeah.
That's why I'm never on time when he says yesterday. 'Cause I'm always
Probably like
all my
Our
yesterday. Oh,
Yesterdays.
jeez.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. All right, so that's it for the old bookmark
Yeah,
roundup
you
corner.
I guess you did better than me.
You
Did you just-
you did literally nothing, and I talked about 5 books. So yes,
I talked about 3 movies
I'm winning. Yeah, you did.
that I had already seen.
True.
I should say that I was rewatching the Indiana Jones movies.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well,
Did you ever
book
play an
news.
Indiana Jones game? Video
Oh,
game?
Yes.
Not
And
good.
the NES Temple of Doom game
Uh-huh.
is great.
Okay.
Anything after that, actually, Game Boy. pretty good.
Okay.
Game Boy, pretty good.
All right.
But I played Staff of Kings.
Uh-huh.
Not good.
Not good.
I played another one. I think
Atlantis?
64. Yeah.
Oh,
not
the
good.
64 one was bad.
It was
It had
bad.
like a weird
Not
deal with
Superman
Blockbuster.
64 bad, but bad.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we on now?
Book news, buddy.
All right.
Tell me what's new in the world
Let's
of books.
dive into the world of books. As
I'm ready.
Indiana Jones was diving into the Temple of Kings.
Okay.
Do you know at the end of Last Crusade where they go to find the Grail? That's in Petra,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you I don't know if you know.
Oh, sure.
But I've been in that.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Well, I
Yes.
hope you were penitent.
Yes, that's
Oh, only
I
the
wouldn't.
penitent
I'm
man
here now.
shall
Yeah,
pass, yeah.
yeah. Saw a lot of people fall when they were trying to go over that bridge.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you?
Even though they were like halfway there, they just
Yeah.
lost track of where the invisible
see.
bridge was. And
Yeah.
right over.
That's tough.
Somebody went to grab for the rails. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
This is humor that's only really catching with the Last Crusade
Probably,
audience out there.
The Last Crusade aficionados are just killing me.
Right. So these are the books that are coming out May 16th. Nick, these are the books of your life.
Like Sands in the Hourglass.
What?
Never mind.
Okay. These books are coming out May 16th. We got some nonfiction. Ernest Hemingway, a biography.
Oh.
I bet, when's the last time you read an Ernest Hemingway biography, Nick?
Then I saw Midnight in Paris.
Well,
Does that count?
I'll tell you. It's been more than 15 years since a full biography on Ernest Hemingway.
Wow.
And-
Have a lot changed for Ernest Hemingway in the last 15 years? Or?
Well, revelatory look into the life and work of Ernest
revelatory.
Hemingway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, you know the end, so.
Yeah, well, who generations after his death are affected by
Oh,
the-
okay.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, reverberations, sure.
All right. Apollo 8, the thrilling story of the first mission to the moon.
Ooh.
But they didn't make it,
Oh.
right?
Apollo
No.
8? I guess oh
August
no,
1968.
they didn't land on the moon.
Okay. Well, then why are we talking about them?
I'm sorry.
This is by Jeffrey Kluger.
They were the first to leave orbit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yep.
We'll remember them.
Yep.
50 years of Rolling Stone, the music, politics, and people that changed our culture. Or is this just a special edition of... No, it's hardcover. For the past 50 years, Rolling Stone magazine is what we're talking about, not Rolling
yes.
Stones. So it's a book about this. There's an exhibit at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland that we
Yeah.
almost went to.
Almost.
But they close at 5.
Yeah, what the heck?
Like every day.
What the heck?
So even on the weekends, they will close at 6.
6?
Yeah.
You got a whole extra hour though.
There- yeah.
That's great. That's prime time.
Okay. All right. I think
Nothing
that's
more rock and roll than closing at 5 o'clock on a weekday.
it. Yeah. We got work in the morning. Rock on.
Everybody's working for the weekend. So
That's true.
are you
There
gonna
we
do?
go. Okay. Gwendy's Button Box.
Oh yes.
That's by Stephen King
Yeah.
and Richard Shizmar.
Sure. Yeah.
Is he like a?
I don't know. I don't know why Stephen King's writing with someone. This was a special printing. It's like a limited printing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was I going to say
I'm not really
about
sure what
this?
the deal is. But it's a year of Stephen King though, so he probably should get a hardcover out.
Okay. Let's see. We got No Middle Name, the complete collection of Jack Reacher short stories by Lee Child. Have you ever read a Jack Reacher short story?
I'm trying. No, I don't think I have. There's a lot of them.
Okay. Well, this is the collected edition.
Okay.
So now's the time to get into them. Same beach next year. What do you say, Nick?
I'll be there.
All right. Now, this is a book by Dorothy Benton Frank.
Dorothy.
Well,
Okay.
it's not spelled,
Dorothea.
Yeah, it's spelled Dorothea. Oh, is that her name, Dorothea?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I said it wrong anyway. Dorothea Benton Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Queen of beach fiction, I guess?
Yeah.
She
Sure.
writes a lot of
Beach
like,
fiction. Yeah, that
fiction
sounds
where
right.
people... I mean, The Last Original Wife, she's on a beach all summer long. Beach.
No one's arguing with you about this beach thing.
Look, I will go to the mat
Okay.
about this. All right.
Yeah.
Full Wolf Moon.
Look out.
By Lincoln Child.
It's the last thing you want.
This is a Jeremy Logan series.
Okay.
What is that? Who's that character?
It's a Loggins and Messina. It's Loggins and Messina are detectives.
Oh, is one of them a werewolf?
Do you not know who Loggins and Messina are?
No.
Okay.
Who are they?
They're a band. It was just a joke. It was a hilarious joke, but
Boy, the Loggins and Messina crowd, though.
I know. They were like, what? Finally. It's like my Elvis mysteries, only instead of Elvis, it's
All right.
a pop rock duo from the 70s,
Okay.
80s.
Well, now I'm disappointed because I don't know if this book's about a werewolf.
It's probably not about Kenny Loggins.
Okay.
So.
Do you know, actually, because of the name Lincoln Child in there and Full Wolf Moon and the whole Lincoln Lombardo thing, it took me a while to, like, when I was getting all these together, I'm like, oh, this isn't a book about Lincoln.
No.
Abraham Lincoln
Lincoln's
fighting
child.
werewolves.
No.
So,
No, he only fights vampires.
this is his most action-packed and white-knuckle novel to date, though.
Oh,
it's a perfect combination
Did
of...
you say white knuckle?
I had trouble there, yeah.
White knuckle.
Combination of exotic locals.
White knuckle.
Oh, wait, locales, not exotic locals. You okay?
That was a big old gulp of Subway tea I took.
Well,
that was a perfect 1-2 punch.
provocative science and raw action.
You got provocative, though. That's good.
That's yeah.
Provocative?
Okay. having a hard day.
I know you are.
Okay. I have to go to Buffalo to get some cash.
I know, yeah.
I asked my wife to get me some cash in here.
Oh, my gosh.
No,
Airing
I'm not-
your dirty laundry
No,
right on the
no,
podcast.
I
Look
won't.
out. Okay.
But she didn't.
I know,
Okay.
yeah.
Scott Toro has a new book. Do you know Scott Toro?
No.
Yes, you do.
I didn't know he had an old book.
Whoa, Nick.
What?
Throwing shade, as the kids
No.
say. Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir. Anyway, he's got a
I
new
wish
book.
you well. Oh, Scott Turow. Okay, yeah, all right.
What'd I
I was
say?
thinking Toro, like Toro.
Oh, yeah.
Like a bullfighter.
No,
Scott Turow, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a new book called
Yeah,
Testimony.
legal fiction.
Yeah, which makes sense because of the name Testimony.
Yeah, it does make sense. It makes a lot of sense, actually.
What's this about? At the age of 50, former prosecutor Bill Ten Boom, that's his name, okay, has walked out on everything he thought was important to him. His law career, his wife, Kindle Country. Oh, Kindle County. I'm just gonna. Oh, even his country. Dang it! I need a break.
Yeah, you should put your head down.
I need to go
Anytime
lie
you want
down.
me to talk about advanced
Still,
notices,
when he
I
is
will.
tapped by the International Criminal... You know what? I don't care. It's legal fiction.
Okay.
Audiences, if you like legal fiction, you might like this.
Oh boy, that's really classic journalism. You're
A
doing.
master of legal thriller, Scott Turow has returned with his most irresistibly confounding and satisfying novel yet. Okay. What else did he write?
Presumed Innocent, I think, is his big one. That's the first
Until
one.
Proven Dead.
Ooh,
Thank you. G-Man.
okay.
It's a Bob Lee Swagger series.
Yes.
You know this?
Yeah.
Okay, this is by Stephen Hunter, who wrote
Yeah.
I, Ripper, which is a book I like, and I would recommend to people who like Jack the Ripper fiction.
He has one about JFK assassination that I started to read and didn't get into, so
Okay.
I don't have much knowledge to share on this author with you.
Okay, well, it's about the G-Men.
Yeah. Government men.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay.
And then, hold on, I was looking up something. Oh, so this reminded me, the Steve Hunter book.
Yeah.
Reminded me of I, Ripper, which then reminded me of that book we have, Stalking Jack the Ripper. It's
Okay.
the young adult series by
Yeah.
Carrie Manscalo.
Okay.
That's produced, as it were, by James
James
Patterson.
Patterson.
Right, it's a James Patterson Presents
James
book.
Patterson, Bill Clinton's co-author. Is that right?
Yeah. Where do you think that, if that was a book series, which it is,
Yeah.
where do you think it would go next? So Stalking Jack the Ripper. Well,
Are they bound by time? Are we going to set in that time period?
I can't answer that
Oh, okay.
by this, but
Okay.
say they're in the same kind of Victorian era.
I mean, then I think they got to cross over with Sherlock Holmes.
Hunting Prince Dracula
Oh, okay.
is the next book.
Well, that's completely different.
okay.
All right.
All right, I got one more book. It's a young adult book. It's called Flame in the Mist
Look out.
by Renee
Aberjon
Idea. What? No, idea. She wrote The Wrath and the Dawn, which is a 2-part series that's really popular right now. But they say this is a, this seems slightly racist. It says comes a sweeping, action-packed young adult adventure set against the backdrop of feudal Japan, where Mulan meets Throne of Glass. Mulan is Chinese.
Huh. Interesting. Well, is the main character Chinese?
Mariko. Nope.
Okay.
Kenshin.
Yeah. No,
Nope.
those don't sound
This
like
is in
Chinese
feudal
names.
Japan.
Oh, interesting. Well,
Oh,
not a
boy.
great comparison then.
Well,
Publishers.
whoever wrote this.
You're just blowing the lid off a lot of hot button topics. This
Sure
morning,
am.
I guess so.
All right,
Look
I'm
out.
done.
I think that's
I'm
for the
gonna lie
best.
down while you do.
I think that's for the best.
advanced notices.
Yes. While we're on the topic of Mr. Stephen King, coming out September 26th, he has a new novel called Sleeping Beauties. Set in a women's prison in West Virginia during a strange mystical occurrence that causes all the women in the world to fall asleep.
Ooh, and one of them is pen pals with Jack Torrance. No, the kid.
Yeah,
Who's the kid? Danny Torrance. Yeah.
This is written with his younger son, Owen King, so not Joe Hill.
Ooh.
And they've already got a deal. Deadline. Anonymous Content has purchased the television rights to this novel. So,
Who?
Anonymous Content,
What is that?
an entertainment company founded in 1999 by CEO Steve Grolan. It's based in Los Angeles.
I mean, so they're like a they're like a nothing company though.
Are they? No, I don't think so. I
Name
think
me
they've done
one thing
stuff.
they've produced.
Well, I'll tell you. They did.
Please be Mars Attacks. Please be Mars Attacks.
They produced 13 Reasons Why
Oh, geez.
to start with.
Okay.
So that's
Well, that's why I haven't watched that show yet.
sure. Okay, that must be it. Anyway, so that's we'll have the book in September. That's coming out then. Who
Okay.
knows when the TV show's coming out? These are coming out a little sooner. This is June. So June for you. Brad Thor, first of all, wants you to know stop self-publishing.
He hates it.
He hates it.
Yeah.
His Scott Harvath series, now in book 16, is coming back with a book called Use
Ragnarok?
of Force. Nope. As a storm rages across the Mediterranean Sea, a terrifying distress call is made to the Italian Coast Guard. Days later, a body washes ashore. Identified as a high-value terrorism suspect who had disappeared 3 years prior, his name sends panic through the Central Intelligence Agency. Where was he headed? What was he planning? And could he be connected to the spectacular attack they have been fearing all summer? Packed with pulse-pounding action, fascinating characters, and electrifying
boy.
electrifying intrigue, Brad Thor does it again and proves why he is known around the world. Is he? Is he?
The Norse god Thor might be.
The Master of Thrillers. I have literally never heard him called the Master of Thrillers.
No.
Don't go back and check old episodes.
If you had
of
asked
the
me, I would
podcast,
have said
but
he does maybe governmental legal fiction.
I guess I would say spy-based fiction that you would buy at a spinner rack in a pharmacy,
Right.
or on a moving sidewalk in an airport.
Okay. I
But
thought it would have been like
I could be wrong.
the vice president has been committed a murder. Who's the best lawyer?
Yeah.
For this?
No, I don't think it's that.
Okay.
I read Lions of Lucerne, which was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
You know
if you
what
like
looks-
Brad Thor,
Yeah.
hey,
You know what looks
coming
good?
out in June. What?
Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok looks great. I'm
Yeah.
very excited about
Okay.
it. Stone Barrington up to his old tricks. I feel like we just had a Stone Barrington. This seems really quick,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe it's not him anymore.
It is. I mean, it
Oh,
says
okay.
it is. Indecent Exposure.
Ugh.
Come on. Stone Barrington 42 by Stuart Woods. Trouble always seems to find Stone Barrington. Boy, is that true?
Yes.
Okay. But with his
Wouldn't you know?
debonair charm, unflappable composure, and cunning foresight, he always gets his man
You okay?
and his lady.
Stone Barrington.
Coming out in June. All right. This is weird.
Okay.
But I'm a little excited about it, so I'm going to tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It's called Matchup, edited by Lee Child of
Okay.
Jack Reacher fame.
Sure.
I'm just
Tom
gonna
Cruise.
read this to you. What it is. Matchup takes the never-before-seen bestseller pairings and adds a delicious new twist. Gender. 11 of the world's best female thriller writers, from Diana Gabaldon to Charlaine Harris, are paired with 11 of the world's best male thriller writers,
Okay.
including John Sanford, C.J. Box, and Nelson DeMille.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's
do what?
short stories by famous team-up. So here they are. Ready? Sandra Brown and C.J. Box. Val McDermott and Peter James. Don't know who those are. Kathy Reichs and Lee Child. Diana Gabaldon, Steve Barry. Gail Linz, David Morrill. Karen Slaughter, Michael Corta. Charlene Harris and Andrew Gross. Lisa Jackson and John Sanford. Laura Adrian and Christopher Rice. Lisa Scottoline and Nelson DeMille. And J.A. Jantz, who is not a Muppet. And Eric Von Lustbader. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you missed the one where Nora Roberts is teaming up with J.D. Robb.
J.D. Robb, yeah.
So-
No, they don't get along at all. Fight like cats and dogs. Let's look in the large print section here. Over in the cozy corner, we have... I'm going to see if you can get this.
Okay.
'Cause it's not what you think.
Okay.
Cozy Mystery, A Southern Sewing Circle, Book 11. The title is Needle and...
Dead?
No,
Needle-
I knew you were going to say it. No, Needle and Dread.
Ah,
So you're very close with Dead. One letter off.
yeah. And mine doesn't work. A
Yeah.
needle and a dead.
Needle and dead. No, well, sure it does.
Okay.
Well, first they had the needle. Now he's dead. Sweet Briar Ladies Society Sewing Circle is needled
Briar.
by the
funny.
death of a highly strung woman. Oh, come on. We had needled and highly strung. In the new mystery by the author of Wedding Duress.
Okay, boy.
Downtown Sweetbriar is now home
Hold
to a
on.
new sewing shop run by one of the circle's own. With the help and
I
support
know.
of her fellow members, Rose is determined to make Sew-tastic a success. And to that end, she decides to sponsor a series of do-it-yourself weekends for sewing enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
It's not a question, but this is going to end with them saying it's finding the killer is going to be like finding a needle in a haystack.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll tell you what it really is. But when a group arrives at Sew-tastic to work on a project, a loud and argumentative guest pushes everyone's buttons.
Yep.
And when she winds up dead and there's more. Rose's project room, strangled by a sewing machine power cord. It's up to
Ugh.
Tori and the gang to stitch together the clues before Rose's reason for living is ripped apart at the seams. Needle and Dread, Book 11, coming to you in large print by Elizabeth Lynn Casey at your local David A. Howe Public Library in June.
Okay.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting stuff.
Yep.
What's on the New York Times bestseller list?
All right.
Tell me Needle and Dead's predecessor is on there.
What's the predecessor?
I don't know.
Okay.
I should know that. I know I need to find out.
Okay,
I don't
good.
want to look, but I have to.
All right. Come on.
Oh, no, I'm not ready. Go ahead. You
Oh,
can
okay.
start. I closed the...
A
I closed
ball of
it. Dead.
darn.
All right, what do you got?
All right. So number 11.
Yeah.
It's Ace Atkins, Robert B. Parker's Little White Lies.
Are you just telling me that because I like Robert Parker?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Spencer.
Yeah.
So
I'm
what do you
actually
think? Are you
surprised it's up
surprised
there.
that he's at 11?
I didn't think those still charted. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
that's pretty good.
Not on the top 10. Just number 10, Beartown.
Do you want to know the rest?
Yes.
Do you want to know the rest?
All right.
All right, book 1. So Deadly. So spelled
Uh-huh.
S-E-W.
Yeah.
Death Threads. Pinned for Murder. Deadly Notions. I don't get it. One of those notions must be some sort of dangerous alterations. Reap what you sow.
Ugh.
Let it sow. Christmas mystery.
Uh-huh.
Remnants of Murder. Taken in. Of course, Wedding Duress, which we talked about,
Uh-huh.
and Needle and Dread. So
Okay.
pretty strong.
There you go.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Continue.
Cross-stitched to death.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I don't like it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Number 10, Beartown by Frederick Backman.
Uh-huh.
It's the Hockey Star book
Yeah.
that we thought was like a weird town where the wilderness was creeping back into the town.
Right.
Number 9, it's just shocking because like I read that as like
I
a
know.
joke. I thought it looked so funny, and
Yeah.
there it is on the New York Times bestsellers list.
Yeah.
Who could have foreseen?
No one.
Number 9, A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. Mm-hmm. Number 8, Anything is Possible by Elizabeth Stout.
Well, that's the right attitude.
But it's not true.
Oh.
We don't all grow up to be astronauts.
It's true. Think how many people would be in space if that was the case.
Huh.
Good thing space is infinite, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Are we high-fiving over
Yeah, we
that?
just- yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Hey, I appreciate how you just high-fived without...
Yeah.
You didn't want to leave me hanging. You didn't think it was
Yeah.
worthy, but...
You know what? I was trying to find a way to go back to the Apollo 8
Yeah.
thing, too. Because,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, that
we
would've
don't
been
all get
nice.
to be astronauts.
Yeah.
Some don't get to land on the moon,
Right.
but it didn't work.
Just a drive-by.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's the moon! Get
Once,
my picture!
just once
Get my
around the block,
picture!
Apollo 8.
Number 7, The Black Book by James Patterson and David Ellis. Number 6, it's new this week. It's The Broken Road by Richard Paul Evan. The Broken Road is the hardest road to travel on.
That's true.
That's one I just made that up.
Oh,
This
well.
is the first book of a new trilogy.
Yeah.
I just shared some lessons I've learned.
Richard
through
Paul
life.
Evans only writes little tiny series.
Is that true?
His books are always real small.
Uh-huh.
Usually heartwarming.
You couldn't-
Often sentimental.
You couldn't see, but Nick was motioning with his hands the size and shape
Size
of the books.
of the books,
And he's
yeah.
doing it again
Yeah.
on this audio medium.
Yeah, that's right.
Number 5, Golden Prey by John
By
Sanford.
John Sanford and
Yeah.
Son.
Yeah. You know, antelope have a golden hue to them,
Yeah.
so they're kind of a golden prey.
Yeah, they are.
If you hunt them.
And delicious.
What?
I've never
You've had antelope?
No, I haven't had antelope.
What about kangaroo? I almost had kangaroo, but the place was out of it.
Oh, yeah. I tried to, but it just kept jumping off my plate.
Man,
I'm sorry.
you're just cracking
I
yourself
just,
up
that
today.
cozy mystery is just in my head now. I
that's
can't
true.
stop.
Yeah. We should come up with a zoo, like a zookeeper cozy mystery,
Okay.
where all
Yeah.
the. I guess it would just turn into that those Flannery books, though. The gaggle of the thinning the turkey herd.
Oh, yeah.
It would just
yeah.
turn into those.
Yeah, I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah. The Fix is at number 4 by David Baldacci. Number 3 is new this week. It's Against All Odds, Daniel Steele, which is the opposite of Daniel Steele showing up on the New York Times bestsellers list.
Yep. Odds are in favor of that.
Number 2, Nick has read this book. He loved this book. He recommends it to everybody. Into the Water by Paula Hawkins.
No, I haven't read it.
You don't recommend it?
I just want to.
This is by Paula Hawkins, the author of The Girl on the Train.
Known for heartwarming, just light beach kind of stuff.
Yeah. Read Girl on the Train on the Beach.
Yeah.
Number 1, 16th Seduction by James Patterson and Maxine Pietro.
That just seems like too many.
16?
Like, why are you falling for this so many times?
Yeah. You seduced me 15 times, but never again,
Yeah.
Detective Lindsay Boxer.
That's your person being seduced. That's their voice.
I assume,
That kind of a Muppet sort of a thing. All right,
Yes.
that's weird. That's number 1.
That's how I sound when I'm being seduced.
Is that number?
Never again.
You're so coy.
Yeah.
Is that number 1?
Yeah, that's number
Okay,
1.
that's number 1. Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Those, even though they're kind of turds, those really make.
What? Did you just say turds on those podcasts?
They're not. I don't think they're good.
I hate
but,
that
I mean,
word.
people. You hate the word turd?
Yeah, I sure do.
No.
It's
I
fine.
think it's evocative.
Ugh.
Tells you right what I mean.
It's so gross.
Okay.
They said it in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ugh, I can't do it.
Didn't like it.
Like,
Okay.
people were laughing. I'm like, just gross.
All right. Well, I didn't know.
Okay.
Now I know.
You could call somebody poop face and I'd laugh hysterically.
Okay.
But you say turd face. Forget it. It's so gross.
That is gross.
This has been the grossest hour of our
This
lives.
This has been stupid. So we're done with the New York Times bestseller list. That's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
On to our segment.
That's right. We're talking about podcasts today.
Are we? Okay.
It's so meta, right?
Yeah.
Podcasts, talking about podcasts. What's next? It's like we're breaking the fourth wall, right? There's no camera.
Oh,
Darn it.
that's
Okay,
true.
I looked for the
Yeah.
camera and there wasn't anyone there. Anyway, Eric and I both listen to a lot of podcasts. You listen to way more than I do,
Is that true?
to be fair.
But your wife
Yes.
listens to more than...
I don't understand. Like, she and I use the same Podcast Addict. It's an app.
Uh-huh.
I'll look at mine. I think maybe I have like 16 total, and most of them don't update often. I look at hers, and it's just like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and
Yeah.
scrolling. There's a few podcasts that she doesn't subscribe to, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try to figure out what they are. I don't know yet,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna
Sure.
try. I'm gonna try to figure out.
All right.
So I don't have tons, but I do have some regulars. So we're just gonna talk about a few of the ones that we like.
Yeah. So we
why
think
don't
you'd like.
Yeah,
Because this is a recommendation.
that's right. You got more than me, so why don't you
Do
start?
I?
Yeah. What do you like?
I don't have more than you, man. If you say you have 16.
I guess that's true. You're about right. Well, I like a variety. There's several that I like that are like political news ones. So I like those. And I know
politics.
I know those aren't going to be on your list.
What? How dare you?
I have a couple like entertainment based ones. I have I really like the West Wing Weekly, which where they do a rewatch of the West Wing.
So you recommending West Wing?
If you're a West Wing fan, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a West Wing fan and you're going to rewatch the episodes, then yeah, I would say check out the West Wing Weekly.
Okay.
That wasn't going to be one of my
Okay, that doesn't count as one of
but
your recommendations.
Now that we
Okay.
tossed it out there, yeah, I think
That
it's a
isn't
lot of
also
fun.
ran then.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's fine. It's just it's very niche because you have to like that show, and I don't really think it would work to go back and just listen. You know what I mean? If you're going to rewatch the West Wing, then yeah, check out the podcast. But I don't think you could just listen to it and remember. Oh yeah, I saw that back in 2006. So
Was that when the West Wing was still on?
I think so.
In 2006?
I think so.
No way.
Maybe not.
That his
Maybe
term would have
before.
been long over.
That's true. Yeah, maybe that's a little too far down the road. Anyway, we're not talking about the West Wing.
Who would you have replace Martin Sheen?
Oh boy.
You know who I pick?
don't know.
Michael Douglas. They
I-
look very similar.
Are you doing that on purpose?
No, they do. They look like I always confuse them.
Well,
Not so much anymore now that I've grown
Aaron
up.
Sorkin wrote the movie The American President with Michael Douglas, and Martin Sheen played the what's that role?
Vice President?
No. No, why can't I think of it?
I don't know.
Like the right-hand man in the West Wing. This is driving me crazy.
Vice
What is
President.
it? No, it's not the
Secretary
the
of
Chief
State.
Chief of Staff. Anyway, and then
I gotta get my right hand man back.
and then when they were developing the West Wing, like right off of the American President, like they use a lot of the same sets, and there's several actors that cross over. They were trying to find the president, and they settled on Marty Sheen, who had just been in the American
Oh.
President. So I thought you were doing a thing, but you
No.
weren't. All right, that was so long on one that's not even in my top recommendations. So
there you go.
what-
Nick's
you
number
go-
one recommendation is West Wing. On to me.
All right, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You give a real recommendation.
Sure. Okay, then I will. This is not going to surprise anyone, but I really like Something About the Beatles. It's a show that really like
I was trying to figure out how to do a faux surprise
Yeah, I know.
expression, but I feel like it's been done to death.
Yeah, it probably has.
Hold on, do it again.
I really like one called Something About the Beatles.
No, I still can't do
I
it.
saw you gearing up. So this is one that I just kind of discovered one day. It's Richard Buskin, Robert Rodriguez. One's British, one's American. They just dig into like Beatles minutia, and it's really interesting. They play clips of the songs. They do a lot of things where like there's episodes where they'll focus just on like the instrumentals, and so they'll do isolated tracks. So like they'll just play like Paul's bass line, or they'll just do like Ringo's drums from the end or something. And it's really interesting, and often it's like I haven't heard the music in quite that way, or they're playing bootlegs or different things. So like I've heard all the Beatles music, but they still pull out things that I haven't heard before.
Right.
And so I find it really interesting just because I like the Beatles.
Right.
But they talk a lot about like just the 60s like rock scene and everything. So you definitely have to be a big Beatles fan to really get into it. But I think, just tuning in every now and then as a casual listen, I think you get a lot out of it too.
All right.
I don't think you would like it.
Whoa. What?
But others might.
Calling me out for no reason at all.
I'm sorry.
What do you mean? Actually, as you were explaining it, I was like, boy, it'd be cool if there was like something about the Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. There probably is. I guess mine.
I know they're not called the Led Zeppelin.
I've got a couple of like watch along podcasts, like watch a thing, listen to a podcast. I got a couple of politics ones. I got a couple of just randoms, but I have a variety. I usually use the playlist option, so it'll just kind of keep playing podcasts.
Right.
So sometimes I'll listen to them at the gym, or just have them playing during a commute or whatever.
Right.
But
See,
I wasn't really all that into podcasts before we started doing this.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me look at other ones. So
Yeah.
give me one you like.
Okay. Well, I use iTunes
Okay.
on my iPhone.
All right. A lot of product placement.
Because
but-
I am a sheep. So a sheeple, if
Yeah.
you will.
I will.
So it's hard to pick because I pick like each podcast does a different thing for me.
Okay.
Like I have a podcast that covers movies. I have
Yeah.
a podcast that covers geek news. I have a podcast that covers Dungeons and Dragons and music and all this stuff. So it's hard because a lot of our listeners aren't as geeky as I.
A lot of just people aren't as geeky as you.
How dare you, sir?
So, I'm sorry.
I will pick my geekiest podcast. No, I'm actually going to pick Revolutions.
Okay. And what's
The
that?
Revolutions podcast. So he started by going through the first British. It's been a while since I listened to the first one. It was the first British Civil War,
All right.
and it was very good.
So that he just talks about wars and stuff?
He talks about what he considers revolutions.
Okay.
So if something isn't a revolution, he won't talk about like that war.
Okay.
So I had just recently finished listening to the one on the American Revolutionary War, which was interesting. I'm in the middle of the French Revolutionary War, which is like the American Revolutionary War was 18 episodes.
Wow.
The French Revolutionary War is about 52 episodes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so it's not like a revolution per episode.
No.
It's like season
No,
arcs.
yes.
Okay.
Yep. So they can go for a while. He's very dry.
Okay.
And he's got a very dry sense of humor. And you start listening like, oh, this is gonna be boring. But then you just like get absorbed because he just starts like throwing these facts in.
Okay.
Talking about mistakes that people make, like their personalities and stuff. So it's fun. It's informative. It definitely is like if you're not if you're not into history.
Okay.
I don't know if this is gonna make history fun.
Listening to 52 episodes on a revolution probably is not going to win you
Well,
over if you're not a fan of
each
history
episode
already.
covers like a very specific segment sometimes.
Okay.
Like maybe he'll do an episode on this battle or an episode on this person. And like sometimes the early episodes he'll be setting up the stage with the cast, or he's like, how did we get to the Revolutionary War here? How did we get to the French Revolution? So you'll spend 4 episodes talking about like just the state of France and how it got there. And,
Okay.
it sounds boring, but it's great.
No, I could see it.
And
I
they're
could
only
see it.
30 minutes.
I've got one that's boring too, but I
Nice.
really like it.
Each episode is only 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not like Dan Carlin's like 4.5 hour
Okay.
long stuff.
Yeah,
So,
that's nice. That's a good length.
yeah.
30 minutes. There's one that I like that almost doesn't count as like a podcast, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. It's Minnesota Public Radio's. It's a radio station called The Current, and they have a song of the day. And you just subscribe like you would any other podcast, and they pull like, indie music, unreleased songs, that sort of thing. And it's like 70-20 in favor of me liking them. So it's just like a 3-minute song every weekday. So
Okay.
I like it. I wouldn't really say that's a podcast, but it's one you can subscribe
Okay.
to. So going off of the one you were talking about, Revolutions.
You're finding a lot of ways to mention more than the 3 podcasts they agreed upon.
This isn't
Look at
my
you.
first
Just,
rodeo.
and if I was going to mention.
I have a history podcast that I like too. It's called Whistle Stop. It's hosted by John Dickerson, who's the host of Face the Nation.
I don't know that.
And it's a CBS political news magazine.
Politics.
And it is about politics actually, but it's about politics of the past. It's one of Slate's podcasts.
Slaters?
And it's not. If there's a Saved by the Bell podcast, somebody send it to me because I'll listen.
There has to be.
John Dickerson's. He goes through basically campaigns, political campaigns. So if you didn't know, presidents, the first 44 interest me.
Right.
And so I like to hear little odd facts about them.
That's a random number you just chose.
Yeah, I don't know. And so what this is, he looks at campaigns and he pulls out like a weird moment or something that kind of was the game changer for it, the October surprise, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he looks at what it was that kind of changed that election or a big defining moment in the election. And often it's like for the negative, it'll be like everything was going great. He was expected to win and then boom, and I find that really fascinating. And he's great too. Like his delivery on it is always, it's funny. It is a little dry, a little quirky. The humor is dry, not the podcast. The podcast is very entertaining. But anyway, that's called Whistle Stop. And I guess that one, it helps if you're into like the political world,
Right.
It's not current, so it's not commentaries on current politics. It's things of the past,
Okay.
So anyway, so I would say check it out. If you like history.
Yeah.
And you don't want to listen to 52 episodes on the
I
French
don't love
Revolution.
American history.
Oh, well, then it's probably not the one for you.
It's taught to us for like 7 years in school, and then we get to the good stuff like later.
I see.
So
okay, I
after
like
a while,
American history.
Yeah,
I think I prefer American history.
it's just like when I got to 6th grade,
That's
and they're
my
like,
minor.
when I got
Just
to
putting
6th
that out
grade,
there.
and they were like, we're gonna start learning about ancient history. So like in the first chapter was like on Egyptian history.
Yeah,
it like my mind exploded. I'm like, we can learn about other history.
Yeah,
it was so good.
It's funny how like you more than anyone I know is obsessed with Hamilton, and you're trashing U.S. history.
Yeah, but I like the music.
Oh, okay. All right.
While listening to it,
give me another podcast.
Okay. Way to get me off Hamilton.
I know. I made a terrible mistake in bringing it up.
I'm going to mention the Q&A with Jeff Goldsmith.
Bloom?
No.
I would listen to the Q&A with Jeff Goldblum.
Query. Query question, if you will. Where were you? Anyway.
To answer my own question.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got?
So, the Q&A with Jeff Goldsmith, this is a movie podcast. So what he does is he interviews screenwriters.
I don't listen to many interview podcasts. I used to like Fat Man on Batman in the early days when he was actually interviewing comic creators. Kevin Smith, I should say.
Yeah.
Not Fat Man on Batman. But I don't listen to many interview ones.
Okay.
Do you have others besides this?
No.
I guess that's one like genre that I haven't really tapped into yet.
Okay.
I'm
See,
sorry.
I like interviews.
I didn't mean to
I could
interrupt.
feed off of interviews forever.
Okay.
The Q&A with Jeff Goldsmith. He interviews screenwriters of current movies as they come out in front of a crowd, usually right after a screening of the movie. And it's just really fascinating a lot of times because he makes them he asks them how did they get into the business, how did they get into writing, and so what their process is like. How do they write? He asked them like how do you get over writer's block? How do you what was the toughest scene to write? And so the mileage of that podcast depends on the movie and your interest in the movie. Like whenever he interviews somebody who's doing the Marvel movies, like he interviews the directors of Winter Soldier and Captain America: Civil War. Like I eat those up, and then sometimes something like Nightcrawler or I can't remember. I listened to the one he did with the drummers, the drummers that you like. What's the drummers that you like? The drummer movie, Jazz Drummer. Whiplash.
Oh, okay.
Man,
yeah.
You were no help there.
Sorry, I was trying to think about drummers, but you meant the drummer movie.
Yeah, he talks about
I did love Whiplash. Did you not see Whiplash?
No, I did.
Oh,
I liked it.
Okay.
But then there's movies that show up. I'm like, I'm not going to see this movie.
Okay.
Skip. Sometimes you'll do the Disney ones, and I'm like, I thought I could do it, and I tried to listen to Big Hero 6, and I'm like, I can't do this. So I just didn't care.
Yeah.
But I still have right now I have La La Land to listen to.
Okay.
So it's just interesting. It's just interesting
That
to
does
see
sound
how he just did one about or I was behind. I just listened to the one where he talked to the writer of Hell or High Water.
Okay.
Chris Pine and You saw it, Ben
Yeah,
Foster.
it was very
really
good.
good. So just him talking about it was
Yeah.
really interesting. So I'd suggest it to writers, and really, if you're just a fan of movies, like you could just listen to it.
Yeah, I love movies.
You could just skip the movies you haven't seen.
Okay.
And the movie and listen to the ones you're interested in. It's
Okay.
great. So it's just fun because you realize what has changed or what hasn't changed, what was always the core. Just helps you reevaluate the films.
Did you say what the host is, like what his position is? Do you know?
I'm not really
why
sure
is-
because he
okay.
had a previous podcast because he was done part of a magazine. It ended, and I thought he was just done, and I was sad.
Okay.
And then I found out he was doing this one.
So a journalist of some sort.
Yeah, but now he has a magazine called Backstory as well.
Okay.
So I don't know what he was really doing before that, but he was getting these interviews with all these big people.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I was curious.
it's usually
It
the
seems like-
screenwriters, unless it's a case where it's a screenwriter director.
Uh-huh.
The director also wrote the screenplay.
I see.
He can get with those. He can usually get like the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's very
Sounds
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
How
Don't-
much time do we have? Because there's two that I want to talk about. And I
How
can't
much time
decide.
do we have?
Yeah.
We got like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, then let me tell you first about one called that I've just recently discovered that I'm into. It's been going on for a long time, actually.
Okay.
Called How Did This Get Made? Maybe you're familiar with this one?
Yes, I've heard of it. This is
All right,
this is
so
about a
it's-
movie.
Yeah, it's Paul Scheer, June Diane Raphael, and Jason Mazzuccas. And basically,
Who's Paul Shears?
they
I recognize
take
that name.
they're all, I mean, you'd recognize their faces. They're actors.
Okay.
They look at movies, they watch movies multiple times, and then the podcast is just them getting together and discussing like how would a movie like this ever actually happen. And it's bad movies usually.
Okay.
And it's just hilarious because they discuss it in such a like serious way. Like they try to make sense of the plots and
Right.
things, and often they'll have a guest star. They had Adam Scott does all the Fast and Furious movies with them, and
Right.
they just kill me. The first couple are Burlesque with Cher and Christina Aguilera, Old Dogs with Travolta and
my gosh.
Robin Williams.
Right.
I just this morning finished listening to the one about Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch. They're hilarious.
Okay.
They're just so funny. They're not. It's not like a Mystery Science Theater thing where they're watching the
Right.
movie along and making comments. It's not a commentary track. It's like a panel that discusses really bad movies.
Right.
And it's so well done that
Okay.
it cracks me up. So
Now I
definitely
have
if
heard.
you're-
I've heard of other podcasters listen.
Okay.
Talk about it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's been going for like 6 years. So
All
it's
right.
they do live shows and stuff.
All right.
But I've just discovered it recently, so I'm gonna listen to about 5 episodes. But
Okay.
it's fast becoming one of my current favorites.
There you go.
So what else you got?
All right. So I'll suggest my last one, and then we'll get your
Bonus
last
one.
one. Your
Yeah.
bonus one, even
Yeah.
though you had like 5 bonuses.
Yeah.
You know what? I haven't talked about a single one of my Australian podcasts.
You haven't?
No.
I'm surprised. That's
But-
like your top.
I know they're just so geeky, and they're hard
Yeah.
to recommend
Yeah.
because in
Well,
Australia
just
your
give me a
language can
list.
be filthier.
Oh, I see. Give me a list.
Well, actually, I'm going to. Yeah, it will have to be those. Let's see. So the Weekly Planet is actually not filthy. That's the one I listen to every week. I'm up to date.
That's your geek news.
That's my geek news. I stopped going to geek sites to get news. I don't go to comic book sites anymore to find out about movie news. I just listen to the podcast.
Nice.
They keep you up to date with movie news.
Wow.
They keep you up to date with just geek news in
One
general.
stop shop.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop, just like our place. But they're just really funny. And what I've learned by listening to all these Australian podcasts is
Yeah.
Australians are just really funny people.
Wow.
And
Look at
also,
that.
the comedy scene. It almost seems like comedy is the currency over in Australia. Like, we have dollars and they have stand-up routines.
So like if you wanted a hamburger,
Yeah,
you'd
you'd
just
have to
tell,
do a
like an
bit.
amazing bit.
yeah, you'd have to
with
do a bit
hamburger.
on maybe the hamburger
Wow,
itself.
you sound like a real expert on Australia.
What's the deal with hamburgers?
Uh-huh.
So the Weekly Planet
Okay.
is really great.
Yep.
And that's the one I'm not gonna list the other ones because they are kind of dirty.
All right,
But
chicken.
It's really funny. Every week they if there's a big movie out, they'll cover that. They get movies there earlier than us.
Yeah.
Like they got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 weeks before we did in
wow.
Australia. So
Interesting.
they could only like talk about something to lead up to it.
Okay.
But they don't just talk about like superhero movies.
Okay.
Like they talk about just anything that's like pop
Sort
culture.
of genre.
movie.
Okay. Pop.
So they'll talk about the Pirates movies. This week they were talking about the Aliens franchise because
Okay.
next week is Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
So that's where if you're like, oh, I don't understand Superman and Batman in the same movie, like, gosh,
Yeah.
like listen to the Weekly
That's
Planet
the
and they'll
place
explain it
to
to
go.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you listen to any book podcasts?
No.
See, I tend to.
I'm
avoid
in a
them.
book
I know
podcast.
no, that's why I avoid it because I don't want to
Yeah.
I don't want to get.
I listen to a video game podcast.
Okay.
But I realize I still go to computer game websites, which means I don't think I'm getting my computer game fix. So
Look out! They
Yeah.
need to step it up. Okay. Well, then I guess I'll close it down. I
is
will
this going to be like a
mention-
Disney thing?
No, it's not.
Like you're into a Disney podcast?
No.
Where they rewatch all the Disney
No.
movies? And
I'm not going to mention Star Trek Mission Log where they rewatch all the episodes.
Okay. You're not going to mention it.
I'm not going to mention it.
Okay.
No.
Fantastic.
But I am going to mention one called Space Pod, which is
If this is a Star Trek thing, I'm
No.
pulling the plug.
no. This is a NASA scientist, Dr. Carrie Nugent. She chats with other like NASA people, and it's just all about like she studies comets, but she talks to people about black holes. And I just listened to one about how they get back images from Mars and Saturn and all that stuff. They're really quick. They're like 15 minutes max. It's just sort of a quick in and out, like, let's talk about space for a minute. So I like it. It's a good length. I don't think I would want too long on that topic, but it's enough that they give you like the juicy, really interesting stuff. And it's a different guest each week.
Okay.
So that one's really cool. So if you're into like space, and my wife is a big space nerd, but she actually didn't discover this. I discovered it and told her.
Every now and then I'll listen to Star Talk.
Okay.
With Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh sure, Dr. DeBison.
Dr. DeBison, correct.
From the Little Critter
From your
book
Little
series?
Critter book, yes. But sometimes I'll listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson's.
Sure. Okay. Human man.
Human man.
Okay.
I'll listen to his podcast. Do
Yeah.
you know he just retweeted by accident about how sometimes when he takes off his shirt too fast, he falls over?
No.
He meant to send that to somebody who asked if he has trouble with gravity. So originally he was going to say when he takes off his pants too fast, he'll fall over.
Yeah.
But he retweeted to like his whole log about the shirt thing.
Nice.
And it was just really funny.
That is funny.
So.
And you said he makes fun of movies and things.
Well, he doesn't make fun of movies. If it's bad science in movies, he'll insult them. I don't think he was a.
Bad science in movies. That's
yeah,
right.
I think
Okay.
he liked the science in The Martian, but he didn't like the science in Gravity.
Okay.
Because the science in Gravity was like all over the place.
All right. Any final ones you want to touch on?
No.
Okay.
I have lots more. I guess we'll save it for our future.
Okay. I
recommendations.
guess you will.
So.
CBS Weekend Roundup.
Okay,
I'm just gonna
there
say
you
it.
go.
CBS News Weekend
All right.
Roundup. A little bit of politics, and then just a whole week's worth of news.
There you go.
I like that one every Friday. All right, and then of course all the books every Monday.
all the book show.
One-stop shop for book news, witty banter, friendship on display. Take my hand at friendship.
No,
Just
I already
touch-
high five.
Just
Oh,
touch
no,
my hand.
Your hand looks pruny, and you've got that Band-Aid.
I know. Well, I cut my hand while I was painting a window.
All right.
Kitchen looks great though, so I can't
That's
complain.
fantastic. All right. Before we
next
get to
week-
library
Oh
news,
yes. Okay.
we forgot to talk about this in Bookmark. You have to review the first season of Riverdale.
I do.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Page to screen adaptation.
if
got it.
anybody on this podcast,
Yeah.
if any of the hosts that do this podcast
Yeah.
is an Archie fan,
Yeah.
it's you.
That's true. Fine, I'll do it.
All right.
I've been an Archie fan always. Like I'd always get the digest. It was a real treat to get a double digest.
Yeah.
Because those babies were big. I remember a Christmas in my childhood where they were like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I was like, "Archie comics." Period. Like that was it. That was the extent of
Yeah.
my list, and I got them.
Yeah.
A big bucket of the old stuff like Laugh, Pep, Reggie and Me, Betty and Me, Jughead.
Yeah.
Do you want me to keep going?
No, I get it.
And still, that's true. I currently have a subscription to Jughead and Archie. I can't lie about this. I have to tell you the truth.
Okay.
So I'm a huge Archie fan.
All right.
And I love the new series too. The Jughead,
Wade, yeah.
the Mark Wade thing,
Yep.
which Volume 3 just came out. We should
Yeah.
be getting our copy soon if we
Yeah.
don't already have it. So I love Archie. Riverdale is really not like that at all. I've got to say, Jughead, I think in the final episode, did eat a hamburger. Only time
He took a bite out of it, and then he was distracted by other people.
then he was distracted by other people.
Yeah.
So I think as far as like an Archie adaptation, it's not good.
Right.
As like a take on Archie, like what if Archie was kind of a melodramatic Twin Peaksy type
Sexy
show?
CW show with sexy teens having sexy problems.
So I actually think that it works. Like it's sometimes it's weirdly faithful. Like some of the names they call each other and just like little things that happen. I'm like, yes, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But in the broad strokes of the show, I think are very different from Archie comics. If you're asking me how they rate as an adaptation, I'm going to say not good.
Okay.
But as a fun, like sudsy, like weird take on Archie, I like it. I
Okay.
thought it was a lot of fun. And they do weird things. Like Archie's been known to like go off and do
Yeah.
Afterlife of Archie, for
Punisher.
example, is really Archie
and the
Punisher.
Predator.
So it's not out of the realm of like it's within the Archie wheelhouse to
I
go
just-
and take the characters in a totally different direction.
I just heard there was an Archie story where like they raced RC cars across America.
That sounds right.
Okay.
I haven't read it. I didn't read a lot of I read just like more like the 3-page comics. I didn't read a lot of like the extended stories. Although occasionally there would be one that was like continued in the next digest, and I'd be like, and there was a whole thing in the 90s where he was going to choose between Betty and Veronica.
Uh-huh.
Forget about it. I was like, I have to get these issues.
Oh, and who'd he choose?
Yeah, Cheryl Blossom.
Wow.
True.
What a twist.
True story. And then, of course, in our collection, we have Rock and Roll Romance, where he chooses Valerie from the
Right.
Pussycats.
Yep.
So
It's like a dream, though.
a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a dream.
to see what.
It's
But
an
it like goes through
alternate
their
take.
whole life.
It does.
Like marriage, kids,
yeah,
elderly.
Yeah.
We also have Archie Meets Glee in our
Yeah,
collection.
I'm not interested
So if
in
you're,
that, but-
I can't believe you're not gonna.
I don't
You
know. I
just
don't
talked
think I
about how you'll read anything Archie. You'll watch Riverdale, but you won't read
I actually even saw
40
the,
pages of Archie hanging out with the cast
I
of
saw
Glee.
the 1990s like grown-up Archie pilot too. It was on VHS tape.
What?
Yeah, they did it like a Archie as an adult coming back. They were all adults.
Okay.
And it was gonna be kind of like a more sudsy, kind of Melrose Placey kind of thing. And they were in their like 20s and 30s. Didn't go anywhere.
Huh.
But-
Broke your heart to find that out?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
And I think I actually watched more Josie and the Pussycats cartoons than I did Archie.
I have never seen an Archie cartoon,
okay.
but I used to watch Josie and the Pussycats all
Yeah.
the times.
Yeah,
Josie and the Pussycats.
I love it.
Long
is
tails
that it?
and ears for hats.
Is that all you wanted me to talk about?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
if somebody's going to talk about it on this podcast, it's
Yeah.
going to be you.
I think it's worth watching. If
only
you like
13
mysteries,
episodes.
if
Well-
you like that sort of teen suds,
As soon as it's on DVD, we'll get it for the library.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, all right, it'll be popular. Well, I want to mention too. Next week we will be doing our Michael Crichton, specifically focusing on the posthumous releases. So if you've read Micro and Pirate's Latitude, we want to hear about it.
or
But
if you,
can send us
like
a-
us,
Yeah.
had an advanced copy
Yeah.
of Dragon Teeth.
Right.
Also.
If you read any of the 3 posthumous releases, you can find us on Twitter at All the Book Show, Facebook at David A. Howe Public Library. You can email us. It's the first time for everything at
You could
wellsville@stls.org.
you could call Nick on his phone. It's
don't.
It's 8
No.
61.
But we do want to hear from you, and you can tell us just general things about Michael Crichton too, because I'm sure we'll diverge and talk
Yes.
about.
You can talk
Michael
to
Crichton.
You
in
can talk to
general.
Nick on his Skype account.
No,
It's
you
Nick.
don't have to give out personal information.
Okay.
That's fine. That'll be redacted.
All right.
So anyway,
Nick
that's what
lives
we're doing.
that.
But let's talk library news.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I will.
How'd you like that?
Sure. This week on Tuesday, May 16th, starting at 6 o'clock in the Tech Center, we're doing a demonstration on our 3D printer. So that's
Fantastic.
pretty exciting. I have a Paul McCartney statue that Eric 3D printed me using
Yeah.
our 3D printer. So you can come see how that works. We're going to be starting
When
to
we
use
go
that a
see
little bit
Paul
more.
McCartney in September,
Yeah.
you should bring that
I should
and
bring
have him sign it.
I should. What else we got? Book clubs. We're currently wrapping up Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. That is Wednesday the 17th. And then after that, we're reading a book called Whistling Past the Graveyard. Contemporary, or no, Page Turners is doing All Our Yesterdays by Robert B. Parker, so you can join us for that. Our next concert is The Probables, and they're sort of a folk rock band. They're new to the auditorium stage, so you probably have never heard them before. All their online stuff, they sent samples and things. It's really good, so I think you'll enjoy that. That's May 25th. Movies we have coming up, we're showing The Swan Princess Royally Undercover.
Oh my gosh.
2017, brand new movie. May 20th, that's our Saturday matinee at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Our senior matinee this month on Tuesday the 23rd is Clint Eastwood in The Trouble with the Curve.
Yeah.
Not The Trouble with the Curb, as I accidentally wrote on the handout.
I said that
Trouble
today.
with the Curve.
Or my wife
So-
thought I said curb.
Do you want to talk about the story times a little bit? We've got the 5 Senses story times coming up.
Wow.
Oh, I have the info in front of me. If you don't
Oh,
have
okay,
it.
go ahead.
Family story time for children of all ages, Monday at 6 o'clock, and that's new, right? She wasn't doing an evening story time before, so that's just starting up now. Preschool story time that's for ages 3 to 6. That's Thursdays at 1 o'clock, and then toddler times. That's for ages 18 to 36 months, not years.
Yeah.
Fridays at 10:30.
That's good. I'm glad they
So-
finally got something for your reading level.
Yes, and those run through June 6th. Kate's doing a great job too. I mean, her story times are really interactive, and she's got a lot of different stuff going on with them. So
I'm here every week.
You're doing a great job too.
No, it's fine.
But we're talking about story time.
Yeah,
right
sure.
now. So,
All right.
yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it. That's all I know. What about you?
That is all you know.
You got any news?
Anime Club every Wednesday at 5:30.
Boring. I get so sick of
It's
hearing about
not
that.
boring.
It's all you ever say.
It's our flagship program.
It is, yes.
If we
Yeah,
lost
you're
Anime
right.
Club, we would lose.
Our flagship teen program. Absolutely.
So, well, it's because the teen photo show is over now,
Yeah.
and all the photos have been collected. So don't even try to come and look at them now.
Don't even try. We'd know.
There's nothing. Actually, there will be an art show in there soon from the high school.
That's true. That's true. Actually, I don't know much about this one.
Okay. Well, like you said, that's all you knew. But we're gearing up for the summer reading program, so that's where I'm saving the programs for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week again, Michael Crichton, send us your thoughts.
Yeah. Do you think
Yeah.
we'll just end up talking about Jurassic Park? Because
I think you will be.
Well, I just
yeah.
want to know.
Yep.
Should I bring in my outline for my fan fiction?
No.
Ah.
You can share that with me privately. And I'll give you notes. On
Really?
it. How's that? Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, if there's no further business.
Because there's a guy, and he
All right.
find
No,
out
never
he's
mind.
terminally ill.
Stop. All right. We'll see you next week. Episode 92.